Another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great day. We got lots to cover in this episode featuring game recap, Kevin Shattenkirk's retirement. Plus, we'll give an in-depth analysis on how the Predators are doing, which is not good. And then we'll preview the Rangers and Sabres game. All that good stuff. So make sure that you stay tuned in to the end of this episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So Austin Matthews, he scores in overtime to get at least a 2-1 win over the New Jersey Devils Tuesdays. Of course, he had on a breakaway in OT, and the Leafs moved to 17-9-2 of the season. Pontus Holmberg had the game-tying goal in the third, which was a short-handed goal. And Anthony Stolarz, the New Jersey native, made 37 saves in this game. And the Leafs, they were outshot 39-16. And if you did not watch this game last night, you should have. This was a must-watch game. A lot of action. Plus, it was getting intense in the game as well with the goaltending duo of Anthony Stolarz and Jacob Markstrom, plus good teams getting a lot of scoring chances, especially the Devils. Like I mentioned, the Leafs were outshot in this game 39-16, 16-1 in the first, 11-5 in the second, and 11-8 in the third. So the Devils were getting more scoring chances than the Leafs were in this game, but the Leafs somehow still managed to pull it off. So this game came on Hulu ESPN Plus last night, so you should have watched this game. If you did not watch this game, and as I'm talking, I'm moving this mic. If you did not watch this game, you should have. This was a must-watch game last night. But for the Devils, Andre Palat, he scored for New Jersey while Jacob Markstrom made 15 saves in this game. Of course, the Devils have now lost 2 straight games. They were coming off of a 4-0 shutout loss to the Colorado Avalanche Sunday heading into this game. They lose this game in overtime, and now they're 18-10-3 of the season. They continue their 5-game homestand against the LA Kings Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Maple Leafs return home to play the Anaheim Ducks Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Moving on to the Avalanche and Penguins. Sidney Crosby versus Nathan MacKinnon, but it'll be the Avalanche coming out with the win. And this one, 6-2 win for the Colorado Avalanche. And Mikko Rantanen, he had 5 points in this game. In his 600 career NHL game, I may add. So he had a hat trick and 2 assists in this game for a 5-point night. Nathan MacKinnon also had a 5-point night, getting 1 goal and 4 assists. In the Avalanche, they have won 3 straight games. They're 4-5 on their 5-game road trip, and they're 17-13-0 this season. Valerie Nichushkin and Arturi Lehkonen also scored for Colorado, and Devon Tage had 2 assists for the Avalanche, while Scott Wedgwood made 25 saves for the Avs in his first ever start. Well, I think second start, because I think he started in Sunday's game against the Devils. So he had a shutout then. So yeah, second start for Scott Wedgwood with the team. For the Penguins, Cody Glass and Michael Bunting scored for Pittsburgh, while Tristan Jarry made 21 saves, and the Penguins have lost 2 of their last 3 games after winning their previous 4, and are now 12-14-4 of the season. But the Penguins, they head to Montreal Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time to face the Canadiens, while the Avalanche return home Thursday to face Utah Hockey Club at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, moving on to the Sharks and Hurricanes. So Jalen Chatfield, he scores the game-winning goal with 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the third period to give the Hurricanes a 3-2 win over the San Jose Sharks Tuesday. Canes have won 2 of their last 3 games, and they move to 18-9-1 of the season. Shane Gostisbehere and Brent Burns also scored for Carolina, while Pierre Kochetkov made 21 saves. And for the Sharks, Luke Cunningham scored twice, while Vika Vanacek made 25 saves for San Jose. And, of course, they lost 3 straight games now, and they're now 10-16-5 of the season. But the Sharks, they look to get a win to conclude their 6-game road trip in St. Louis Thursday against the Blues at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Hurricanes, continue their 4-game homestand against the Senators Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And that Hurricanes and Senators game will be on NHL Network for you guys to watch. So make sure you stay tuned to that game, especially if you're a Hurricanes and Senators fan. All right, so Monday, after that episode of Hockey Talk with TG podcast on Monday, the Sharks and the Avalanche decided to trade their goalies. So Alexander Georgiev was traded to the Sharks by the Colorado Avalanche for Mackenzie Blackwood, and the Sharks also received for Nikola Kolovenko a conditional 5th-round pick in the 2025 NHL Draft and a 2nd-round pick in the 2026 NHL Draft. And the Avalanche, with Mackenzie Blackwood, they also received for Giovanni Smith and a 5th-round pick in the 2027 NHL Draft. So the Avalanche, they are changing up their goaltenders. I mean, we saw 2 of their goaltenders traded this season, with Eustace Anwin getting traded to the Predators on November 30th for Scott Wedgwood, and now Alexander Georgiev traded to the Sharks for Mackenzie Blackwood. So the new goaltending tandem in Colorado is Mackenzie Blackwood and Scott Wedgwood. It's kind of funny right there. Try saying that 5 times because Wood both in that sentence. But Scott Wedgwood made 25 saves in a 4-0 shutout win on the New Jersey Devils Sunday. His first start with Colorado Avalanche. I kind of mentioned that earlier in the podcast. Mackenzie Blackwood did not travel with the Avalanche to face the Penguins yesterday because he is sick and he is out with illness. But if you take a look at his stats with the San Jose Sharks before he got traded, he was 6-9-3 with a 3.00 goals against average and a .911 save percentage. And if you take a look at Alexander Georgiev's stats with the Avalanche before he got traded to the Sharks, he was 8-7-0 with a 3.38 goals against average and a .874 save percentage. He could most likely start for the Sharks in Thursday's game against the St. Louis Blues. We will just have to see, and we'll see if he gets his first win as a Shark against the Blues in that game. All right, now we're moving over to the Flyers and Blue Jackets game. So Travis Konechny, he scores twice in this game in the Flyers' 5-3 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the Flyers, they end their 3-game losing skid and are now 13-12-4 of the season. They're 5-0-2 in their past 7 road games. For Morgan Frost, he had a goal and assist in this game, and Mateev Michikov had 2 assists in this game, while Samuel Ersson made 15 saves for Philadelphia. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, Kent Johnson had a goal and assist for the Blue Jackets in this game. Zach Werenski and Sean Monahan scored for Columbus, while Elvis Merzlikis made 19 saves in this game. When the Blue Jackets not looking so good, they have now lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're 12-13-3 of the season. They continue their 3-game homestand against the Washington Capitals Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Flyers return home to face the Red Wings Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. They actually play the Red Wings in Detroit next Wednesday. That will be a game on TNT. So 1 week later or so, or I should say 6 days later, they'll play the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. So a little bit of action right there. All right, Panthers and Flames. So Jonathan Huberdeau. Not Panthers and Flames. Flames and Predators. I don't know why I said Panthers and Flames. I'm guessing because I'm thinking Jonathan Huberdeau still plays on the Florida Panthers, but we all know he was traded to the Flames for Matthew Tkachuk. Of course, that was a blockbuster trade, so I don't know why I said Panthers and Flames, but like I said, it's probably because I've been thinking that Jonathan Huberdeau still plays for the Panthers. But anyway, Flames and Predators. Jonathan Huberdeau scores the game-winning goal in the Flames' 4-3 win over the Predators Tuesday, and he also had an assist for a 2-point night, and the Flames improved to 14-10-5 of the season. And coming into this one, Calgary had lost 6 of their last 7 games. They were 1-4-2 during that span, and they lost 2 straight games of regulation coming into this game. And so they finally ended a skid with a win over the Predators last night. Kevin Rooney had a goal and assist for a 2-point night. Nazem Kadri and Braden Paschal also scored for Calgary, while Dan Vidar made 17 saves in this game. And for the Predators, Jonathan Marchessault and Tommy Novak scored for Nashville, while UC Sauls made 24 saves in this game as well. So Jonathan Marchessault, he had 2 goals. Tommy Novak, he had 1 goal. And the Predators, not looking so good as we have seen throughout this season. They have now lost 8 straight games, and they're 0-5-3 during that skid. 7-16-6 of the season, and they're last in the league. So my Chicago Blackhawks jumped the Nashville Predators, and now they're second to last in the league, while the Predators are dead last in the league. So yeah, but it's tough if you're a Predators fan. So I feel bad for you Predators fans out there. Of course, more bad news for the Predators. They lost their captain, Roman Josi, in the first period. So he didn't return to this game, and he's out with a lower body injury. So in the next game against the Dallas Stars Thursday, they will be without their captain, Roman Josi. Don't know how long Roman Josi will be out, but hopefully it's not that long. Predators fans would love to watch him come back into action. So hopefully his injury isn't out for that long. But for the Flames, they head home to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning for the start of a 5-game homestand Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Now let's take a look at the Predators' season. So based on their performance, like I said, they lost 8 straight games, 0-5-3 during that span. And they're 7-16-6 of the season, and they're last in the league. And like I said, we said this dozens of times on the Hockey Talk with TG podcast, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard this before from other analysts like on NHL Network, ESPN, wherever, besides listening to the Hockey Talk TG podcast. I mean, you would think the Predators will have a great season coming into this one, since they signed Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Shea, not to mention Scott Wedgwood before he got traded to Colorado for Justus Annuin. So you would think after those big signings, the Predators will be a not only a playoff contender, but possibly a Stanley Cup contender as well. But they're not. So, and they have failed to deliver offensively, so they don't have a bad offense, but we're just not seeing enough from the Predators offense. So after this loss to the Calgary Flames, I was thinking in my head, could the Predators fire head coach Andrew Burnett? I mean, we already seen 2-3 coaching firings this season. Like the Bruins, they fired Jim Montgomery as their head coach, and Joe Sakiel's now their head coach. The Blues, they fired Drew Bannister, and Jim Montgomery is their head coach. And my Chicago Blackhawks, they fired Luke Richardson, and Anders Sorensen is their new head coach. So we could see a fourth head coach firing this season for the Nashville Predators. That probably might be a change because, like I said, not only it's the coaching problem, also the team is the problem as well. So the team is not doing well. Potential rebuild discussion. So you guys heard me say this on the Hockey Talk TG podcast. Barry Trotz, their GM, mentioned earlier in the season that the team might go into a rebuild. So it may be time for that since the Predators are still failing to do well. And as you take a look at their prospects in the AHL for the Milwaukee Admirals, Joakim Kamel, Matthew Wood, and Reed Shafir. Hopefully I pronounced that last name right. They're going to be future players for the Nashville Predators. So they're doing great in the AHL, but we'll just have to see if Barry Trotz decides to go on the rebuild, which is highly likely that he will. Another problem, the Predators could trade some of their players. So, like I said, they traded their goalie Scott Wedgwood to the Colorado Avalanche for Justus Annuin. We could see more trades happening throughout the season, and we don't have to wait to the trade deadline. The Predators can just start trading some of their players now to get some more solid, good players for the teams. Or, I know this is the part with, I would say just try to have patience with the roster, but you like almost halfway, midway through the season, and you're not seeing any results from the roster. So I probably wouldn't throw that in there. But yeah, it's just been tough for the Nashville Predators. I can't really say too much because I'm not a Predators fan. I don't keep up with the Predators so often like I do with the Blackhawks, because you guys know I'm a Blackhawks fan, so I follow the Blackhawks. And so yeah, I can't really say too much on Nashville's side. All I can say is that I feel sorry for them. It's been a tough season overall for the Nashville Predators. And you would think that coaching change or possibly like I said, rebuild mode is in option for the Predators to do, since their season hasn't been going the way that most of us hockey fans have expected. Moving on to the Bruins and Jets game. So this was a feisty game in Winnipeg, but the Jets came out on top with an 8-1 blowout win over the Boston Bruins Tuesday. Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor each had a 3-point night. So Mark Scheifele had 2 goals and 1 assist. Kyle Connor had 1 goal, 2 assists, and the Jets moved to 21-9-0 of the season. They have won 3 of the last 4 games. Gabriel Pavard and Nikita Chibrikov each had a goal and assist for a 2-point night, while Connor Hellebuck made 23 saves in this game. And for the Boston Bruins side, David Pastrnak scored the lone goal for Boston, while Jeremy Swayman made 27 saves, and the Bruins have won 4 straight games heading into this one. And with their loss, they're now 15-12-3 of the season. The Bruins continue their 5-game road trip in Seattle against the Kraken Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Jets continue their 4-game homestand Thursday against the VGK Vegas Golden Knights at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, moving on to the Wild and Utah Hockey Club. So the Wild came out with the 5-4 shootout win over Utah Tuesday. Matt Boldy had the game-winning shootout goal. Of course, he'll be representing Team USA in the 2025 NHL Four Nations face-off. Marco Rossi had the game-tying goal in this game, and the Wild have won 6 of their last 7 games, and they improved to 19-5-4 of the season. Marcus Johansson, he had a goal and 2 assists in this game. Kirill Kaprizov and Marat Kusnetdinov, hopefully I pronounced that last name right, he also scored for the Wild, while Philip Gustafsson made 21 saves. Of course, he'll be representing Team Sweden for the 2025 NHL Four Nations face-off, and he stopped all 3 attempts in the shootout. For Utah, which hopefully they get a name soon, because I'm sick and tired of here at Utah Hockey Club, and they can just have a simple team name. But Clayton Keller, he scored twice for Utah, while Karel Vejmelka made 35 saves for them. Kevin Stenlund and Juuso Valimaki also scored for Utah, and Utah has earned a point in 6 of their past 7 games, and they're now 12-11-5 of the season. They head to the Mile High City to take on the Colorado Avalanche Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Minnesota Wild return home to start a 5-game homestand against the Edmonton Oilers Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. That game will be on Hulu and ESPN+, and that game will also be a must-watch game. You got the top talents of that team, both 97, Connor McDavid and Kirill Kaprizov, so that game should be an intriguing game to watch. All right, so Kevin Shattenkirk, so he retired from the NHL Tuesday after 14 seasons. Of course, he played for the Colorado Avalanche, St. Louis Blues, Washington Capitals, New York Rangers, Tampa Bay Lightning, Anaheim Ducks, and Boston Bruins. He was drafted 14th overall in the first round of the 2007 NHL Draft by the Colorado Avalanche, and he had 484 points and 952 career games played, so 103 goals, 381 assists for 484 points in 952 career games. In playoff career game-wise, he's had 48 points in 91 playoff games, 8 goals, 40 assists for 48 points in 91 playoff games. And, of course, he was part of that Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup team in 2020 when the Lightning won the Stanley Cup against the Dallas Stars. Of course, that was during COVID. That was in the bubble. And, yeah. And nationally, he also represented Team USA in the 2011 World Championship and the 2014 Sochi Olympics, and in his final season with the Boston Bruins, Kevin Shattenkirk had 24 points in 61 games played, so 6 goals, 18 assists for 24 points in 61 games played in his final season. So we wish Kevin Shattenkirk on the best of his retirement. Of course, we're going to miss him in the NHL. He was a great defenseman to watch. So, yeah. All right, moving on to the Canucks and Blues. So Thatcher Demko makes 21 saves in his season debut in the Canucks 4-3 overtime loss to the St. Louis Blues Tuesday. So he sustained a knee injury in Game 1 of the first round of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Nashville Predators on April 21st. And the Canucks lost 3 of their past 4 games, 1-1-2 during the span, 14-8-5 of the season. Elias Pettersson had a goal and assist in the game, and Brock Besser and Connor Garland each had 2 assists in the game. And Nikola Joshua, the former St. Louis Blue, he had a goal. Jake DeBrusk had a goal for Vancouver, but it would be Dylan Holloway coming back with the overtime game-winning goal in this game, and the Blues moved to 14-13-2 of the season. They're 5-1-1 since hiring Jim Montgomery on November 25th. And Robert Thomas had a 2-point night, getting 1 goal, 1 assist. And Zach Baldock and Jordan Kyrou scored for the Blues, while Joel Hofer made 22 saves in this game. And the Blues wrap up their 4-game road trip 3-1-0, and they head home Thursday to face the Sharks at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Canucks continue their 6-game homestand against the Florida Panthers Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Moving on to the Panthers and Krakens game. So Sam Reinhart scored the shootout game-winning goal in the Panthers' 2-1 shootout win over the Seattle Kraken. And it was kind of an emotional game for Brandon Montour, because this is the first time this season, I believe, that he's facing his old squad, the Florida Panthers. Of course, he was part of that Stanley Cup team with the Florida Panthers. So, but yeah, he didn't score in this one, but still an emotional game nonetheless. And with that shootout win for the Florida Panthers, they improved to 18-9-2 of the season. They won 3 straight games. Their captain, Alexander Barkov, who will be representing Team Finland in the 2025 NHL Four Nations Face-Off event. He had a goal in regulation, and he also scored in the shootout. He has 10 points during the 7-game point streak, so 5 goals, 5 assists for 10 points during his 7-game point streak. And Sergei Bobrovsky made 17 saves in this game. For the Kraken, Chandler Stevenson scored the lone goal for Seattle, and Yanni Gourde and Jared McCann each had an assist for the Kraken, while Joey DeCoy made 32 saves. In the Kraken, they won 3 of their past 4 games, and they're 14-14-2 of the season. They continue their 4-game homestand against the Boston Bruins Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Panthers continue their 5-game road trip in Vancouver against the Canucks Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Now we're going to be previewing the Rangers and Sabres game. This game will come on 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. And so the Rangers coming into this one, they lost 8 of their last 10 games, including a 2-1 loss to my Chicago Blackhawks at home at Madison Square Garden. They're now 14-12-1 of the season. Special team-wise, they rank 12th in power play with 22.5 percentage, and they're second in penalty kill with an 85.9 percentage. So special teams probably isn't a problem for the Rangers, despite their recent struggles. And for the Buffalo Sabres, they're winless in their last 7 games, 0-4-3 during the span, and they're now 11-13-4 of the season. They are coming off of a 6-5 shootout loss to the Detroit Red Wings on Monday, and their power play and their special teams in general has been struggling. Their power play is 30th in the league. And their penalty kill is 12th in the league. Players to watch in this game for the Rangers are Artemi Panarin. He leads the way for the Blue Shirts in goals and points. 15 goals, 34 points right there. And so he remains a key offensive force for the Rangers. And for Adam Fox, he leads the team in assists with 22 and continues to anchor their blue line. For the Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson, he leads the team in goals and 15, while Alex Tuck leads the Sabres in assists with 16 and points with 24. And that top line is going to be nasty for the Sabres. They have a good offense in general, but not seeing that much for them recently. Goaltending matchup in this game. So the New York Rangers will start Igor Shesterkin in this game. Season stats: he's 9-10-1 of the season with a 2.95 goals against average and a .910 save percentage and one shutout this season. He's won the Vezina Trophy in 2022 for the Buffalo Sabres. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen gets the start. Of course, he'll be representing Team Finland in the 2025 NHL Four Nations Face-Off event. Season stats for him: he's 8-7-3 of the season with a 2.82 goals against average and a .902 save percentage and one shutout this season. His last win was on November 22nd against the Anaheim Ducks, which the Sabres won 3-2 in overtime in that game. And the Rangers' top line, according to Daily Faceoff, as we look at the lineup insights, is Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, and Alexei Lafreniere. Sabres' top line, according to the Daily Faceoff, is J.J. Peterka, Tage Thompson, and Alex Tuch. Key points to this game, of course, number one, avoiding penalties. So the Rangers, they have a great power play. They have a great penalty kill. So it's going to be tough for Buffalo to stay out of the box for that. So that's number one. Number two, special teams impact. So like I said, Rangers have a great penalty kill, solid power play. And so, like I said, the special teams are going to be tough for Buffalo entering this game, but they're going to have to figure out a way to get it done against the Rangers, despite their struggling power play and their penalty kill. And number three, momentum and confidence. So, of course, both teams are struggling at the moment. They are coming off of losses at home. So, the Rangers coming off of a 2-1 loss at MSG to the Chicago Blackhawks Monday. And the Sabres are coming off of a 6-5 shootout loss to the Detroit Red Wings at home Monday at KeyBank Center. So, both teams are needed for a win entering this one to break their losing streaks. So, this could be a great game to watch, an intense game overall. Sabres strategies and player notes. To the Sabres, they're focusing on maintaining that aggression after taking early leads in their recent games, but also struggling to sustain momentum. And, of course, they're going to be without their captain, Rasmus Dahlin. They're also going to be without Sam Lafferty, so with a low body injury. So that's going to be tough having your captain not playing this game and also Sam Lafferty being out as well. For the Rangers, they're still trying to get over this losing hump. They traded their captain, Jacob Trouba, to the Anaheim Ducks. And they're low in both goals scored and allowed in the last 10 games. And Artemi Panarin, despite being a key player for the New York Rangers, well, despite the team's struggles, I should say, he continues to be a bright spot. And he's going to be playing his 700th career, I should say, excuse me if I'm getting my words mixed up. He's going to be playing in his 700th career NHL game in this one. And this will be the second of 3 meetings for the Rangers and Sabres. Of course, the Sabres took the first one at MSG on November 7th by a score of 6-1. And the final meeting between the Rangers and Sabres will be on February 22nd in Buffalo. All right, now you take a look at the games on the slate. So, of course, 2 games on the slate today. I just previewed one of them, Rangers and Sabres. That will come on at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. And then the final game, the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Ottawa Senators at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So, not really too much going on in the NHL, just only those 2 games right there. So, yeah. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for this episode. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. I know the lightning, if you're watching this on YouTube, the lightning is kind of a problem on here, so I'm still trying to work with that. So just bear with me on that. Of course, we're not in the studio, so yeah. So I'm still trying to work out this lightning issue. So just bear with me if you're watching this on YouTube. But nonetheless, thank you guys for tuning in as always. I really do appreciate each and every one of you that tunes into the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Really makes my day better. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. God first as always. Be blessed. And I will see you guys Friday for for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.